James Holder for IFL TV in association with Matt Jim about with the press conference today for Anthony Joshua v DOMINIC BREAZEALE ahead of his first IBF world title defence. With me I've got promoter Eddie Hearn. Ed, what did you make of that, mate?
Fun, fiery. I'm looking forward to seeing your explanation. You know, when you do your propaganda on YouTube later. Explosive. Joshua and BREAZEALE come head to head in fiery confrontation, or danger.
That's a good one. I might save that one. I went with heated words exchanged today.
Very good, very good, very
right.
good. No, it surprised me actually. AJ turned up, he was completely chilled, and I think he put his hand out to BREAZEALE to shake, and he weren't having none of it, and then they squared up. I've not seen it before.
He seemed a bit aggressive today, AJ. Look, BREAZEALE kind of got under his skin a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's had a lot of obligations since the Charles Martin fight, and you know he's just started camp again, so he's tired. I hope that he can find the heights in camp that he found in the Charles Martin camp, because it's, you know, my one concern going into this fight is that he hasn't had the break and the time for it to sink in that I probably would have liked. And BREAZEALE was very fresh, talks a great game, huge as well, and he can really punch. And he says, listen, it's his shot to nothing. He knows he's not going to hang around for 12 rounds. He's going to come out and try and stick it on AJ's chin. And you know, I'm excited for the fight. This is AJ's 4th undefeated fighter on the spin. You know, I know he comes in for criticism from the hardcore that we always talk about, but you know, the fact is he's fighting quality guys, and obviously the Showtime deal that we've announced today is groundbreaking, and it's huge news, not just for Anthony Joshua and for Matchroom, but for British boxing. You know, I think Stephen Espinosa's done only a handful of multi-fight deals. In fact, I think this is the second one, and the other one was with Floyd Mayweather. So from a business sense, it's something that I'm very proud of, because I've been beating the door down for US broadcasters, for all kinds of different fighters, particularly for Anthony Joshua since he turned professional. And now when you send that email and you get an instant reply, that feels really fucking good, excuse my French.
I'll bet.
And you know, when you walk into New York, those head offices like I did last week, and they welcome you in and start talking about the plans for Anthony Joshua, it shows we've got something very, very special. And you know, I know US network deals aren't really the top of people's agenda who are watching this, but for me, it was a proud moment to do that deal.
Just coming back onto DOMINIC BREAZEALE, what did you sort of make of his comments that he's not going to drop the ball? He's not, so to speak, quote Charles Martin, which was an interesting comment in itself.
Well,
what did you make of that?
I think a lot of people, I mean, I still don't feel like Josh has got the credit for the Charles Martin win. However you want to talk about Charles Martin, he was a 6'6" undefeated southpaw, and even to adapt the way that AJ did that quickly in the fight was hugely impressive. I think that the difference with Charles Martin is he didn't really have the pedigree, and no one knew the story about Charles Martin, and that was one of the threats, and that was one of the things we were worried about, is how good is Charles Martin, because there wasn't the illustrious amateur career, or you know, the trainers from back in the day saying this guy's always had it. But with DOMINIC BREAZEALE, you know, he was a top US amateur, appeared at the Olympics, but taking the Olympics away, he's got a solid pedigree in the amateur game, and he's come through 17 wins, 15 knockouts, so he knows what to expect. And I think the way that he carried himself today showed that. You know, it wasn't a guy who turned up and shaking at the table, and you know, he stuck it on AJ from the get-go. So he wants to put that message across, and he means business. He knows he's not going to come in and outbox AJ over 12 rounds. He's going to come and try and knock him out.
If he does stick it on AJ though, what do you think the outcome will be?
If AJ gets hit on the chin from DOMINIC BREAZEALE, he could get knocked out. Someone's going to get ferociously knocked out in this fight, because they're both going to be throwing. Now, with the Charles Martin fight, it was a standoff southpaw looking to counterpunch. Here you've got a guy who's just going to come in and try and knock Joshua out. The worry is the speed of Anthony Joshua means it's very likely he'll get there first.
We've seen the back and forth between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury on Twitter, which was fantastic to me. Got a bone to pick with you. You told me that Joshua liked the name Flex.
Yeah, did he not say it?
I went to him, all right, Flex. He looked like he wanted to pull my head off.
Oh, maybe he's just in a bad mood. I don't know.
What are you absolutely playing?
No, he liked
you said to me, yeah, he liked the name Flex.
Flex, he went, I like that.
He must have been just like brushing it off.
You know, I think everyone's asking about the Joshua Fury fight. You know, everybody stopped. When's that happening? And that'll happen soon. You know, like I said, good conversations with Peter Fury, who makes all the decisions for Tyson, and they know. They know how big that fight is, and they're not afraid of the fight. And Josh ain't afraid of the fight, so it has to happen. You know, like I said, the structure of the deal is very simple. That's almost been agreed anyway. It's just a case of keep winning, and it's only a matter of time.
Do you see Tyson Fury keep on winning? Do you see him being decisive in the rematch against Vladimir Klitschko?
I don't know. We don't know whether what we saw in Germany was a shot fighter in Klitschko, or, sorry, it's a bit disrespectful, a faded fighter, or a wonderful performance. I think it was a bit of both, personally. I thought it was a great performance, and I thought it was a faded Klitschko. This time around, can we get the same level of performance from Tyson? It's going to be difficult for him to get in the physical and mental frame of mind that he was in the first time around. And are we going to get a better Klitschko? Probably. A little bit less pressure in the UK, you know. But I think Tyson will win. I hope he does. Listen, I'm desperate for him to win. Because if not, the fight becomes a voluntary defence. And I think it will still happen, but obviously a unification fight between two Brits it's unheard of in heavyweight division. So,
do you think we've got to make these sort of fights while we can? Looking back on the past, the likes of when David Price, Tyson Fury looked like the hottest ticket in town. David Price then suffers two defeats to two people that found out to be drug cheats, but nonetheless still has the defeats that fight. Then again, hasn't got the same appeal. So, do you think you have to make the fights when there's a window to make these big fights?
Timing's everything. Not just in life, but in boxing, more importantly. Sometimes the time is right to make a fight, and that was probably with Charles Martin and Anthony Joshua. You know, and again, loads of people, and I was concerned, loads of people were telling us that was too early. Go back and look at all the old interviews. Tyson Fury was one of them. AJ's going to get knocked out in 2 or 3 rounds. I know Charles Martin. He's unbelievable. Oh, great southpaw. Oh no, he's terrible, really. AJ knocked him out in 2 rounds. Oh, disgraceful. It's like, not what about a great performance? So, but timing's everything. There'll be a time when it's right to make the Joshua Fury fight, but it is sooner rather than later. You know, even down to fights like chief support on this bill, Groves against Murray.
Cracking fight.
You know, people have talked about that fight for a long time. Now's the time.
Yeah.
And it's important that people make the right fights at the right time. And
anyone else on the card we can speak about? Cracking fight with Groves Murray, by the way.
Yeah. We got DILLIAN WHYTE will be announced. We're just boxing that off at the moment, but he's going to box on June the 25th. Got another big fight planned. We're just boxing that off at the moment. Should get an announcement this week. Conor Benn will be on the undercard. Still
it's going to be a real event card this one.
Yeah, same. I mean, you know, with a Charles Martin fight, although we had 3 World Championship fights, I think we were missing a couple of big fights, and of course Groves Murray is one that could fill the O2 on its own. So that's big. And the next fight we're looking to add as well is a great fight. Callum Smith might be on the bill, and still looking at David Price, Dave Allen. I've got this sort of conundrum at the moment where, you know, I saw your interview yesterday with Dave Price, and he's saying, what do I get out of fighting Dave Allen? And he's probably right, but who's interested in Dave Allen against Bogdan Simpodompovic from Croatia? Do you know what I mean? And people would rather see a British domestic fight with 2 hungry heavyweights than, you know, bringing an international fighter over who no one's heard of and we don't really know what it means to them. So the answer is, if you want to be on the bill, you have to have the kind of fight that actually people want to see.
Do you think that fight can be made? Do you think that they'll be
from
more
our side,
receptive when you speak to the fighters?
I understand David Price's, and I'm not sticking it on him here. You know, Dave Caldwell's got a plan, but I'm up for Dave Price fighting other people, but show me who they are. You know, if we're going to get a Commonwealth title, if we're going to get something else, show me who the people are on the list, and we can evaluate that. But from my point of view, from a fight I'd quite like to see, and one that I think is good fun, I like Price Allen. I mean, I love Price against DILLIAN WHYTE, but that's not the right time to make this fight. Perhaps next. I like Allen against DILLIAN WHYTE, but DILLIAN WHYTE's coming back from an injury. You know, you can have an 8 or a 10 rounder. So, I think I like that fight. I just want, you know, I don't want to make David Price against someone. I want to make it in a fight that, you know, he's got his fight on at Goodison, and let's find the right opponent that's going to make some noise.
On that note, I really do appreciate giving me some time today. Enjoyed the press conference.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming.
We look forward to sort of more more of this come fight week.
Cheers, mate.
See you tomorrow.